Hola. How's everybody feeling at the moment? Thank you for joining me. My name is Jordan. I am the founder of Yoniswell Surf Collective. And today I will be going over this week's energy in our weekly message that you can find here on YouTube. So, without further ado, I am going to get some announcements out of the way. And we are currently still running the Aries birthday special astrology reading. And this applies to anyone who has a birthday during Aries season. And this ends on April 19th. Um, there's still time. So you could actually book this session, get the discount, and then we can schedule it at a later time. For all of our Taurus birthdays, this special runs from April 20th through May 20th. And again, you can book the session by following the directions in the description box below. We can schedule that, get it on the books for you. And uh, for the Gemini birthdays, you can even schedule yours also ahead of time as well. And so, what this includes is a 90-minute reading for $75. And this includes on Zoom, we go over your natal chart. And then we look at your solar return chart, which basically has the next year of energies to look at that is significant for you and can really give you a heads up on how this energy is showing up in your life and how it can really support you. These readings are really an avenue of support to get to know yourself better, to connect with yourself deeper, and to know what your natural energy signature is. It's a way in which you can access your nature. It's a way in which to recover your nature, to connect with your nature. And so it really is a beautiful experience to gift yourself for your birthday this season. I have a few more announcements, but I will save those for the end of this message because it's important to announce them, but also get this message out there to share so that you can really utilize this information and these resources for your own best and highest good, which helps everybody in your immediate reality and then the collective as well. So I'm going to break this down in a practical way so that you can apply it to your everyday. And so when I look at the chart or when I look at this week's various charts throughout each day, I see the transits. And the transits are, it's a language. It's a language that's being communicated to us through the transits, which is, the planetary aspects and positions that's taking place currently in our current reality. And astrology it's important to remember if this is new for you, astrology is the language of observing, correlating to what is actually playing out in our physical reality. And there are so many aspects to this. It's very simple. It can be complex, but that's the beauty is that we are dancing with these archetypes that can help us really understand on a deeper level our creative purpose, how to work with energy, how to really feel supported. And when there are really difficult things and tough times happening in our lives, astrology can really support you in returning and rooting back into a space of love and support, and knowing that you are safe, and knowing that the universe really is taking care of you. And we are human beings. We are actually beings of light. We are souls. We are infinite soul beings. The soul is eternal. So we are infinite soul beings having a human experience. And the human consciousness is only so limited. And so astrology is rooted in natural law, giving, sharing, and inclusion. And it's rooted in universal, timeless principles. And that is what really is natural for us in understanding. But we also live in a society that don't really talk about natural law. And so just allow yourself to observe the various themes and knowledge and education that and information that's starting to show up in your space, that is helping us return to our nature, return to natural law, and revive these ancient practices and knowledge that has been and is available to us to really help humanity move forward during these very divisive times of change, and what may not feel so good or is not looking so good in the near future. The next 5 years, we are going to witness, I mean, we've been witnessing change. Evolution is without saying, like, we are evolving beings. So change is always happening. It's the only constant, right? So evolution is taking place. Our souls are constantly evolving. We as humans, change is always happening. Relationships end, new relationships begin old careers and new careers begin. We are just always in a state of change, right? But in the next 5 years, we are really on a global level and a spiritual level, a scientific level, a technology-based level. We are going to witness our world rapidly change into something that we have not experienced in this lifetime, though we have been here before, and we have returned to this similar time as previous to Atlantis, and to when the patriarchy really began, as a way to make new choices and as a way to dissolve the man-made structures and laws that are not rooted in natural law, that are immersed in separation consciousness. This is the type of decision making and choice points and energy that starts wars. So we are moving away from the toxic masculine, or the overused mind, which is the extreme masculine, and we are returning to the feminine. And I will say this every time: we have feminine and masculine energy within all of us. And this is a time where we are returning to our feminine energy, and we are reuniting with what it really means to operate from a place of love, giving, sharing, and inclusion, and that we are all equal, and that we all have a purpose, and that we can actually contribute to the greater whole to help humanity move forward and share knowledge with others. And especially, children that are being born at this time, that are growing up at this time, they are souls that are going to ground in and integrate natural law and the divine feminine, and help bring forth a new order when it comes to living in community and um, innovation for the better of humanity and for what's in resonance with the heart. So I'll keep talking about these themes as we are going to really witness on the worldwide stage how divisive we are getting. And without mentioning any names, we are going to start witnessing those who are in power, who are abusing power, and who are the model for the toxic masculine. And a question that we all need to ask ourselves is, I mean, this is a part of the core message of this energy, is a question to ask ourselves is, um, what are you influenced by? Are you influenced by love, giving, sharing, and inclusion, or are you influenced by separation consciousness, divisiveness, and creating sides to where one is better than the other? Um, we're also going to be witnessing the rapid growth of AI and technology, and there's a way to integrate the advancement of technologies into our society and into humanity that is helping us improve so that we can all help each other. And there's a way in which to integrate AI and technology where we are still present with our natural design, with our hearts, and that the inner temple lives within us, that unconditional love lives within us, the universe lives within our hearts, our heart center, that we are spiritual beings, and it's not outside of us. We do not need to travel into the solar system onto another planet in order to find who created us or to find the higher power, or however you want to interpret the different information that is swirling out there. So this is why meditation is really important. This is why it's really important to cultivate a spiritual practice where you are connecting with your inner divine, your inner divinity, because that's where we came from. We are all connected from a source of energy that is rooted in unconditional love. So that will help ground you and center you as we're going to be witnessing a lot of turmoil happen. And, the US government is an example of what is imploding on itself. Even the entertainment industry is an example of what is imploding on itself. And we have to really look at these man-made structures and laws that are operating from a place that is out of integrity and that is actually not what's in humanity's best interest. So that's an example of what Pluto and Aquarius is for the next 20 years. Pluto is the planet that is, the act of Pluto is like, it's like an excavator breaking ground for a new home to be built. The energy of Pluto will get to the bottom line of the source of what is no longer in resonance with your truth, with what is best for humanity. Pluto is metamorphosis. It is the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. Pluto will, it has to do with betrayal, abandonment, and the misuse of trust. It has to do with power dynamics, entrapment, right? Those are the lower expressions, the distorted expressions of Pluto. It's the ruler of Scorpio. And so it really is about getting down to the bottom line of why something is taking place. And is it in alignment with our truth? Is it what is best for our natural energy moving forward? And so Pluto is in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And Aquarius is the archetype of liberation from previous conditioning. It's freedom, it's revolution, it is community, it is about confronting one's trauma in order to heal. It is healing energy, but it's also innovation, it is invention, it is the individuated mind. It's the higher mind. It's our ability to have an amazing idea and then take it out into the world, putting action into this idea. It does correlate to AI. It does correlate to astrology. It does correlate to the higher realms of the universal language, the planetary language, the language that is out there in the higher realms, that is downloaded into our human consciousness. And again, this is where the question of, well, what are you influenced by, love or evil? Love or evil? And that is the choice point that we are at. And this week we are going to be witnessing, today I'm recording this on April 18th, and today Mars has now entered Leo. Mars has been in Cancer for like since October. So we have been swimming in the emotions of our inner child and familial dynamics, where we were wounded from the past, but hadn't emotionally processed it fully. We have been having to confront our own emotional repression, oppression, the parts of ourselves that have not emotionally processed or fully healed from previous experiences. This also correlates to confronting, our family lineage, perhaps ancestral wounds, as a way to confront and heal. And so Mars in Cancer, Mars does represent the divine masculine or the toxic masculine. Mars represents the masculine. Masculine meaning I take action in order to put something out there into the world. Mars, at the root of Mars, Aries, the first house, is desire. I have a desire, I'm going to take action and create that, right? But before that desire comes, the idea or the receiving of what that desire is comes from the feminine. So that would be Venus, Taurus, second house, seventh house, Libra, right? Taurus is the sense of self, the feminine self, where we receive the information we need in order to know what we want to create. And that Mars energy will go out there and create it, taking action towards it, towards the desire, creatively self-actualizing the desire. So Mars in Cancer, being there since October through a whole retrograde cycle, and he hasn't even returned to he hasn't even cleared his shadow. So he's direct, but he's not fully out of the retrograde shadow. However, today, him going into Leo, we are feeling like a burst of energy, a burst of clarity, desire to take action into the new, and to really creatively self-actualize a version of ourselves that is emotionally healed, that has evolved, that has matured, that is now connected to its feminine energy. This is the masculine, or the taking action part of ourselves that is now softer and has compassion for the other, who's not selfish, who is connected to their heart and wanting to creatively self-actualize something, because it is not only good for the individual, but it's good for family, friends, the collective. Okay. And so this Mars is also tired from dog paddling in the ocean, for a really long time. So we're going to experience this transition. And as this energy is ramping up, remember, Leo is the energy of the heart. The lower expression of Leo is somebody who's completely selfish. And the distorted version is somebody who's actually cut off from the heart, right? So this Mars in Leo is ready to creatively self-actualize these new desires from a new version of themselves who's emotionally matured and in the process of healing, has healed many wounds, and is going to go out there and share it with their community, Aquarius, with others. The polarity point of Leo is Aquarius. Now, it's important to remember that this whole week is leading up to an opposition to Pluto. It's Mars's third opposition to Pluto. And this time he's in Leo and Pluto's in Aquarius. And when there's an opposition between two planets, the full moon, for example, something has to be thrown off in order for change to occur. Because when we reach the opposition, there's a part of ourselves that is meant to be left behind, because it no longer resonates with our own evolution and who we are moving forward. This Mars represents our conscious desires and is moving forward. And that Pluto is going to bring forward a message that is asking us about our commitment to self and to others and to our communities, to our own liberation, to our own freedom. To, again, are you connecting with your heart, or are you over-identifying with the mind to where you are cut off from the heart? This is very important. We are going to be witnessing the divisiveness increase in the world. And as this is happening, the key message to continue asking yourself, what am I influenced by? Divisiveness is not the answer, but it will expose Pluto in Aquarius. It will expose and excavate the ways in which we are operating in the world, connected to the patriarchy, that is no longer good for humanity. As this divisiveness increases, we will also begin to witness leaders within our communities, but also in the world, who are rooted in operating from their heart, from love, natural law, giving, sharing, and inclusion, who bring forth science meets spirituality. When we have a spiritual lens to bring forward into the world of science, then we are connecting to our nature and how we were designed. They do not operate without each other. So it's really important to connect to your heart, and to consciously move through whatever you're creatively desiring and creatively self-actualizing in this world at this time, as the new beginnings are tangibly coming into form, to really just be conscious about how you are contributing to your own energy field, which then will spiral out and have a ripple effect in the world around us. So, as this is happening, we are experiencing the ongoing unraveling of endings and culminations, um, with Venus still balsamic to Saturn, soon to be moving ahead of Saturn in Pisces. Um, we and while that transit is happening, Saturn is meeting up with the north node of Pisces, which means Saturn is opposing the south node in Virgo at 26 degrees. What does this mean, right? And there's another add-on, which is, I'll just focus on Saturn, okay? So Saturn, the planet that represents our physical reality, goes in 28 to 30-year cycles around the sun. Saturn is the timekeeper. Saturn is our physical reality. Saturn is about karma. Saturn is about integrity, our conditioning, how we learn from when we are children into adulthood. Saturn is sobriety. Saturn is the authority figure in our lives. Saturn represents the father. Saturn is in Pisces, closing out a 30-year cycle, and will conjunct the north node. So Saturn will meet up with the north node, which will show us through a spiritual lens, through our intuition, where we are meant to go to become the best version of ourselves that is integrating a level of spirituality as a way to become whole, which is very inspiring and can really cultivate and awaken a spiritual experience that is long term. This is definitely spiritual awakening energy. But that Saturn is opposing the South Node in Virgo, which is showing you what is absolutely no longer working, what is out of integrity, what is not meant to move forward with you in terms of thought patterns, perspectives, daily habits that are not in alignment with your true self-value or that are healthy for you. Virgo and Pisces is the axis of health. Virgo is the body. It's the most natural expression of Virgo energy, which equates to the Virgo Pisces axis, is when our body, heart and soul and mind are in alignment, right? So Virgo is the physical form, and Pisces is like the inner knowing, the inner spirit, our intuition, from within. And so that South Node in Virgo with Saturn opposing it is showing us what is no longer healthy for us in our physical reality moving forward. And in your chart, wherever the South Node in Virgo is within the house, and then that Saturn in the North Node of Pisces, it's the house, the houses that will really reveal how that is showing up, that energy is showing up in your life. So those are two oppositions that are happening. Mars opposing Pluto, Saturn conjunct the North Node, and Pisces opposing the South Node in Virgo. There's two oppositions happening in the same week, different days, but the same week. And then, so that is like we're at a standstill. That is tension. That is retraction. And while that Saturn is opposing the South Node, Venus is still right behind Saturn and will move ahead as this transit is happening, as Saturn is actually conjunct the North Node. So it's you could be witnessing like restrictions around your money, having to really buckle down and count your pennies. Like restrictions around relationships not moving forward, but also like we're at a standstill of like what is really not in alignment, that is not moving forward with you. And it applies to um, our desires, how we're taking action. Does this benefit all? It also is like, am I in alignment within my self-value, my value system, relationships, and how I invest my time and my money? So there's like so many things happening at the same time. What's really supportive is that Venus is in an exact sextile to Uranus in Aquarius. I'm sorry, in Taurus. Venus is in a sextile in Pisces to Uranus in Taurus. But Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, but that Uranus is ruled by Venus. Anyway, we are completely supported to really like tangibly begin the new relationships, the new patterns around money, the new values, to really integrate our new self-love, self-value, and value systems. And so that's really important to remember how this is applying and all playing out, that really is like allowing us to say goodbye to the old patterns, the old reality. The karma has cleared. Any responsibilities that we have not taken care of will show up at this time so that they can really be taken care of. Because in February of 2026, when Saturn and Neptune move into Aries together, because they will retrograde back this year. They're moving into Aries, they'll retrograde back to Pisces, and then they will move into Aries together, never returning to Pisces together in this lifetime. So that is signifying the absolute true new beginnings that we are moving into, that you have a pulse on, that are now tangibly becoming real and manifesting into physical form. But also there's parts of you that you still don't know about, meaning there might be hidden gifts and talents that you are meant to bring forward to help contribute to humanity, to make and it doesn't have to be so big, right? These are gifts and talents that you have that are hidden, that are waiting to be revealed when we're in this new energy, that have to do with, again, your immediate reality. This could be, just like your workplace, your family, your friends, how you show up to the group of friends, or to whoever is within your immediate reality. And that can be, this is a time where communities that are really in alignment with natural law, giving, sharing, and inclusion, are going to start lighting up, or they're going to start um, building and increasing and becoming bigger, because they are contributing from a place of love, and from a place that is natural to us, and from a place that is going to help each other move forward. And so this is where new creative projects and just new endeavors are really starting to take shape and to form. So the exact opposition between Mars and Pluto happens on April 26th. And then the next day um, is the new moon in Taurus, ruled by Venus at 7 degrees, signifying the true new tangible beginnings that are happening in relation to our self-worth, our self-value, our relationship to money, beauty, creativity, relationships with women, sisters, those who model, a mentor or a role model for the divine feminine. I'm going to share the chart with you and just show you. Before I do that, how strong the divine feminine energy is right now. And I'll say this again every time. Uh, divine feminine energy really is, it's a whisper from our intuition. It's our ability to receive what we need. It's also our ability to provide for ourselves, to tap into our natural resources and go within, trusting that what we receive is exactly what we need and is best for, it's what's best for our highest good moving forward. And with that comes discernment. Without discernment, we aren't able to identify if something is good for us or not, because we do need to be aware of what's coming in to our realities. And from within, we will be able to discern whether or not it's in alignment. But in order to know if it's in alignment, we must be connected to our inner voice, Taurus, to our intuition, which is also linked to Taurus, but it's also Pisces, right? So divine feminine energy is really, it's about going within and trusting. It's about receiving. And it's about standing from a position of knowing oneself, operating from love. And so as you can see, we have Pallas Athena, the goddess creative intelligence, and Lilith, which is the most undistorted version of ourselves, rooted in natural law, giving, sharing, and inclusion. This is the purest form of your own nature, where we do not compromise and we do not succumb to the patriarchy. We are whole unto ourselves. And Pallas Athena, being the goddess of creative intelligence, she is the divine manifester. Like, she is linked to Aquarius and to manifesting dreams and desires, but from a place of love and from a place of alignment of nature, of natural, of who we naturally are. And, these are powerhouses that are moving together through Aquarius, which correlates to community, liberation from previous conditioning, freedom. And so it's important to remember that, the polarity point of Aquarius is Leo, which is the heart. And what I do for myself, my most authentic version of myself, what I creatively self-actualize in this life and in this moment, it's not just for me. It's for the collective, Aquarius. So we're going to be witnessing the demolition of previous man-made laws and structures, regulations that are no longer in alignment with humanity and who we naturally are moving forward. And we're going to witness this through the divisiveness of leadership and through the growth of communities that are rooted in love and giving, sharing, inclusion. And again, the core message is this. I'm going to stop sharing. The core message of this week. It's where we're feeling clear. We are taking action and we're feeling like we're embodying and in alignment with who we naturally are. rooted in self-love, friendships that are with like-minded individuals, community, and natural law. This is a week where we feel supported to go after, create, and manifest what is in alignment with who we are now and trust the pure potential and opportunities that are coming our way. As this is taking place, those who are very invested in the physical world, the 3D reality, meaning they do not have a connection with perhaps their intuition, perhaps the universe within them, perhaps uh, their connection to the divine. We will be witnessing much more divisiveness, resistance, and backlash. The more that we connect to our hearts, Leo, and the less we are over identifying with the mind, Aquarius, we will then make choices that are rooted in love and create from there. If you're in a situation where relationships are ending, careers are unfolding, going away, people in your lives are falling away, just a series of culminations and endings. Can't repeat that anymore. Trust that. Trust that. There has to be space for the new version of yourself to manifest in physical form who we are meant to move forward with. We may start, continue witnessing the extremes of patriarchal society that is needing to change, and will battle until natural change occurs. Remember, we as a humanity here on Earth, we need Mother Earth in order to survive. She does not need us. So to follow up and to reiterate, an important question to ask yourself is, what are you influenced by? Love or separation consciousness, which can correlate to evil playing out in the world? How are you contributing to the greater whole within your physical reality? Do you have a spiritual practice? What are the ways in which you connect to the universe? Do you choose to connect to your heart, or the limited ways of overthinking and the over identifying of the mind? We are returning to our nature. And natural law is rooted in equality, and that everyone, all living things, and everything has a purpose. Natural law is rooted in timeless, universal principles and values. We are witnessing figures in the world who have forgotten that man cannot play God, and they cannot control nature. Natural law. It's simple. Pisces. We will also begin to witness leaders across the globe who are examples of science meeting spirituality, who are rooted in love, natural law, giving, sharing, inclusion. I can't say it enough. The truth is, we can't operate without both. We are designed to cultivate community and to operate from love. Which do you choose to be influenced by? Remember to share this video. So I'm going to end it there. Remember to share this video with anyone who you may feel will benefit from these messages. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. I will conclude with our announcements, and you can find the information below in the description box. But yeah, we have our Divine Feminine Surf Immersion Experience happening in El Salvador on May 24th through the 30th, 2025. It's going to be a very special experience and a chance for you to really utilize intuitive movement in the ocean through surfing, to improve your surfing skills, to connect with like-minded women, and to cultivate community through the lenses of nature, astrology, and connecting truly to our intuition on a daily basis. Remember also to book your astrology reading, that we have the birthday specials coming up. We still have Aries, then we have Taurus and Gemini available for you to access. Um, yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. And these are all resources for you to access what returning to your own nature actually looks like. So I'm sending you oceans of love. I will see you next week, and I hope to connect with you soon. Have a beautiful